We are on the cusp of another stimulus bill being passed, and it just got stalled. Seriously. I just got home from my office. I settled in here. I just paid my taxes, I'm not in the greatest mood. I settled in here at my little home recording area, log in, check out the news, check out C-SPAN, and I'm like, what is going on here? Another delay. So let's chat about what the heck is going on here in the Senate and how exactly it'll impact you and where we can expect things to go from here. There's been constant conflict between both sides with this third stimulus package ever since it's been proposed. First we saw conflict with the minimum wage increase to $15 per hour. We're still seeing conflict with that, and we don't exactly know how that's going to end up. But that was a common hot ticket item, and we saw that coming. State and local government funding. The third stimulus bill is set to spend $350 billion on state and local governments, and we knew that that was going to be a hotly debated item because it had been in the first and second stimulus package. The stimulus check size and scope. That one was a little bit more surprising because we know that most voters want stimulus checks. Something like 73% of all voters want stimulus checks. All Democrats want stimulus checks. Most Republicans want stimulus checks. So we didn't expect that to be a huge issue, but then we saw some debate with the size and scope. Should it be $1,400? Should it be $2,000? Should it be another $600? Should we limit the stimulus check to fewer people and drop down income limits to $50,000 for individuals and $75,000 for couples? So that's kind of been all over the place. But the hitch this time is a bit different. It's come from an unexpected place, at least from my point of view, and I am thinking about this stuff all day long, pretty much every single day, and that is unemployment boosts. How long they should last and how much they should pay out per week. So here's what's going on here. Moderate Democrats in the Senate have a ton of power right now. This is because the Senate is split 50-50. 50% Democrats, 50% Republicans. Now, the few moderate Democrats who could potentially be swing voters on certain bills are very key. And there's especially two right now that Democrats are mostly worried about. And really one is Joe Manchin. Now, these moderates have a ton of power because their vote will be the deciding factor as to whether this bill gets passed. We already know that no Republicans are going to vote for this bill. They've already expressed that, and a few more moderate Republicans have already said none of their colleagues are going to go for this. I'm not going to go for this. So we know we need every single Democrat to vote for this in order to get the bill passed. Now, Senator Joe Manchin believes that we're doing a bit too much on unemployment boosts, among other things. He's also against the minimum wage increase, but right now he's speaking out against the unemployment boosts. Now, because of this, there's a bit of a hitch going on, and we have two additional proposals to consider that are going to be a part of the vote-a-rama that is continuing right now. Now, this vote-a-rama, we also don't really know what exactly is happening here because that can extend for up to 20 hours, but then we saw that they might shrink it down to 3 hours, but we don't really know because it's not an exact set time. So we have two proposals for the unemployment boost. The first one is from Senator Thomas Carper, who came up with a compromise. He's saying that we should keep the payments at $300 per week as they are right now and extend them through September, and also make the first $10,200 in benefits non-taxable. So basically the same proposal extended a little bit longer than the August deadline, the current deadline, except just lower it from $400 per week to $300. Then we also have Senator Rob Portman, who believes that we should keep the payments at $300 as well, and then halt the payments at the end of July instead of the end of August. So that would lower the payment from $400 to $300, and at the end of July, a month earlier, and have no additional tax benefit. Either way, if either one of those choices went through, the bill would have to be approved in the Senate, voted in, probably have a tiebreaker from the vice president, then sent back to the House, and then it would be voted in there where it may have a little bit of disagreement, but probably ultimately get passed, and then go to the president to be signed, and hope that that all happens before the unemployment boosts expire in 9 days from now. So we're also looking at some different changes because either way, that bill is going to be sent back to the House. So some other changes that we're for sure going to see in this bill before it gets sent back to the House are $510 million for FEMA, additional funding there, $750 million for states and communities impacted by job and revenue lost in the tourism industry and the travel industry, $1.25 billion for evidence-based summer enrichment education programs, $1.25 billion for after-school programs, $3 billion for education technology. It would also make the COVID-19 student loan relief tax-free. It would make the stimulus checks more narrow, just to briefly describe that. It would keep the income limits for the full check the same, so single filers still would be the cutoff of $75,000, joint filers $150,000, but the cutoff, the phase-out period would be much more narrow, so for individuals $75,000 to $80,000, for joint filers from $150,000 to $160,000. And then we still don't know exactly what's going to happen with unemployment boost, and we also don't know what's going to happen with minimum wage. So there's two things that are pretty up in the air right now, and a lot of changes that will be made and then voted in and then sent to the House, voted in there, and then sent over to the president. Now on this and the power that Senator Joe Manchin has, Senator Mitt Romney had a quote that I wanted to read off to you. And he said, if they need Joe, then give him what he needs. And they say maybe at this point Speaker Pelosi won't take up the bill. Well, baloney to that, of course she'll take up the bill. And I believe that's true because really time is running out. If we didn't have that expiration date with unemployment boost, maybe she wouldn't take up the bill and they would debate it a little bit longer and she might get a little bit more of what she wanted. But with this tight deadline, she's probably going to pass whatever gets passed in the Senate as long as it's similar to the bill that they passed in the House. So we're still from here headed into a very chaotic next day or so. We're unsure how long the vote-a-rama is going to last. We're unsure what's going to happen with unemployment boost, what's going to happen with the minimum wage. Minimum wage is very likely just not going to be in there. But there's other small elements and amendments that may be made before then. It's going to be a very chaotic 24 hours. So make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications on because I will let you know. I'm going to spend my whole weekend on this, so I will let you know as soon as anything happens. Now, I also wanted to cover some paycheck protection frequently asked questions because I'm getting asked a ton of questions and I just simply can't respond to every single question. I'm doing the absolute best I can. I'm going all day long, every day. You can ask my cats and my girlfriend. They basically haven't seen me for the last 2 months. But I'm doing the best I can. So a few frequently asked questions. The first one, a lot of people have asked if the PPP will be extended. As of right now, it ends at the end of March 31st. So I would say the odds are better that they'll be extended than not. However, we just simply don't know. And because of this, I recommend applying as soon as possible. Even if that means you might not get the best calculation, I personally would just rather receive the PPP than not at all. So that's just my opinion. I would say apply as soon as possible. If you need a lender, there's one link in the description. Otherwise, you can use any SBA approved lender. Another question, some people have said that the Womply Fast Track application is still requesting line 31. I have talked to them about this several times and they say, if that happens, you are doing the old application. You need to completely restart or you answered a question that's going to send you to the regular application. So it's one of those two things. And absolutely, they said they've built out the entire new application. It's impossible to reach the old one with a new application. So if that's the case, try even with a new email address if you can, if it's still showing line 31. Now through their regular application, the non-fast track application, that has not been updated because each additional lender has to update it on their own and they literally just got guidance from the SBA. So that might be a little bit of time before they're updated, but they will update it ultimately, but we still have only until the end of March to make that happen. Now, there's also a lot of confusion still on the gross income calculations. The gross income calculations only works for those who have a 1040 Schedule C tax return. That's it. You can have employees. You don't have to have employees. It can be either, but you have to have a 1040 Schedule C tax return. I know it's really unfortunate for anyone who has an S Corp like myself. I'm not able to do the gross income as of right now, and I don't foresee that change happening unless there are some just major changes overall with the Paycheck Protection Program. Also, there's a question, will we be able to increase previous PPP loan sizes if it was based on net in the past? and now you want to increase it to gross. As of right now, unfortunately, there is no way to increase this. I've asked lenders about it and they've said if the deadline gets extended, we might see that option added, but due just to the nature of how short the time frame is here, there's nothing we can do as of right now. And again, that's the kind of situation where it's ridiculous. You know, those who were ahead of the game and applied right away, arguably those who are most in need are going to get the least here. And it's extremely frustrating. I wish there was a change. I wish there was more I could do besides, you know, talk to these lenders and just get the information I can and spread it to you. But that's all we know as of right now. Now, the last question, some people have said that they've applied for the PPP and it's been more than 24 hours since they applied for the fast track and they haven't received the actual documentation yet. I reached out to Womply about this and they just said that they are bogged down right now. You should receive confirmation. If you're worried, reach out to support. You can either use their live chat or you can email them at support@womply.com. And again, if you have yet to apply as soon as possible. So that's going to do it for today. I would like to thank you for watching and I hope you have a profitable day.